Hi, I'm your course librarian, Samantha O'Connor. In this video, I'm going to provide you with a review of some of the techniques that you may have learned in English 111 for conducting research in the library. I'll also talk a bit about how to apply them to your upcoming literature review project. As with any library-related assignments, it's important that you remember that the library is available to help you with any portion of the research process. Please use the chat box embedded in your Blackboard course to get in touch with us. You can locate this chat box by going to the Online Librarian Content area in your Blackboard course. The chat box is here at the top, and it connects directly with library staff. It is available 24/7, so feel free to pop on anytime. You can also email me directly with questions. We're here to help, and we're always happy to steer you in the right direction. Let's start by looking at the search process. Most of you have probably used the library resources to search for articles as part of assignments in some of your other classes. If you've conducted research for an essay in English 111, you probably know how to use Summon, the library's main search engine. That can be a great place to start your search for your lit review as well, but I also want to show you how to access and use some of our subject databases, which you may want to explore as you conduct your research in this course. Before we dive into this process, let's take a look at the steps for conducting a lit review. First, you'll define your research question. Next, you'll need to select appropriate databases. Third, you'll develop a search strategy. Fourth, you'll begin selecting starting articles. Fifth, you will build off of those articles to find new information. And finally, you'll review the information that you found and you'll synthesize it together to create a big picture. To begin, it's really helpful to start by defining your research question. When conducting a lit review, you will be looking for articles that work together to answer your question, so you need to know what that question is in order to select the best articles. As with anything in research, your research question may change as you conduct research and learn more about your topic. Still, it's helpful to have a well-defined question to get you started. For example, I may know that I want to do my observation report on preschool children. This is a really broad topic, so I'm going to spend a little time thinking about the specific question I want to answer with my lit review and my observation report. I might decide to focus on how preschool children share toys with their peers versus how they share toys with younger children. Once you know the field of research or academic discipline that you're going to explore, you may want to select a specific subject database to search in. To find a subject database relevant to the academic field you're exploring, start by clicking on the Databases tab on the library's website. Select Find by Subject. On the Databases page, choose the subject area or academic field that you plan to explore. In this case, I'm going to explore social sciences. The two databases at the top of the social science section are marked as Best Bets. These are the databases the library recommends because they are credible, comprehensive, and usually pretty easy to use. However, you may select a database that isn't a best bet. There are often some resources that have a very narrow focus, such as the Criminal Justice Database, that won't be helpful for very many students, but could be the best source for your topic if you are exploring something in that area. For my observation report about preschool children and sharing, I'm going to click on the Sociology database. In order to search in this database, I want to make sure that I'm utilizing targeted search terms and avoiding stop words. Stop words are the words that add grammatical meaning to a sentence, but don't have any meaning specific to my topic. Words like it, the, about, or because are stop words. So instead of using a sentence or phrase with stop words, I'm going to craft a search that focuses on my research question and utilizes only the key concepts from that question. In this case, I'm going to conduct a search for preschool children and sharing. If you remember the search techniques you learned in your English 111 class, you'll recognize the use of all caps and the quote marks that I used in this search. The all caps and tells the database that I want both search terms to appear in every single article that comes up in my search. The quote mark tells the database that I want the term preschool children to show up as that exact phrase, those words in that order. Looking at the results of this search, I'm not really sure how on target it is. Looking at these results, I wonder if sharing might be too specific of a term. I may plan to observe sharing behavior in my observation report, but maybe it would be more useful to focus my lit review on a slightly broader concept, such as playtime behavior or peer interactions. I'm going to start very broadly and replace sharing with behavior. Once I have a set of search results that seems focused on my planned topic, I can select an article or two to get me started. I'm going to start with article number 4. Preschool Children's Understanding of the Emotional Consequences for Failures to Act Pro-Socially. To access this article, I need to click on the title. This takes me into a page where I can read the article in full, download it to save for later, or email it to myself. On this page, I want to point out something very important. When it comes time to cite your sources, your in-text citations will require you to list page numbers. Looking in this view of the article, there are no page numbers visible. In order to get the page numbers for my citation, I need to view the PDF version of the article. If you ever come across an article for which there is no PDF, and therefore no way to view page numbers, please contact me, and I will try to track down a PDF for you. If I find an article I want to use, or an article that seems to be on the right track but isn't quite what I was hoping to find, I can use that article as a starting point to find something else. One of the easiest ways to build up an article I find is to locate the section labeled Related Items. Most library databases will have a section like this for the articles you find through your searches. They may be on different places on the page, or may have a different label, but there's almost always a feature like this. In this section, I can skim for other articles that might be helpful for me. One other option for this step that may not always be available, but you should definitely explore if you see it, is to look at the articles in the Cited By list. These are articles that cite the original article that I was looking at. They may build off the research presented in this first article, or they may even refute a point from that article. Some of the articles on this list may be immediately available to you. Others you may need to request. A request usually only takes a day or two, but may take up to a week, so don't leave your research to the last minute. Once you have several articles you want to work with, it's time to review and synthesize. As you read the articles, make note of the following. What was the research question of the study you are reviewing? Was the research funded by a source that could influence the findings? What were the research methodologies? Are there conflicting studies? Why do you think that is? By answering these questions about your articles, you will get a stronger understanding of the literature published on your topic. That is the process you will need to follow to conduct your research. However, there is another step to keep in mind throughout this entire process. It's important that your lit review focuses on the best research published that speaks to your research question. An important element to the research process is to evaluate the sources you find as you search. There are many elements to keep in mind as you select articles, but an easy way to weed out ineffective or irrelevant articles is to apply the CRAP test. First, check the currency of the article. When was it published? Is that time frame appropriate for your topic? For many topics, 5 years is a good rule of thumb for ensuring that research is current and up to date. Some topics may require even more timely research. Others may allow a little larger time frame. Next, ask yourself if the article you found is truly relevant to your research question. In that first search I did in the database, the first article was about sharing humor and laughter. While I was hoping to find articles with the word sharing in them, this isn't exactly a relevant use of that term. Even though this article came up first in my search, it's not relevant to my topic. Next, I want to examine the authority of the article. What gives the author or authors of my article the authority to write on this topic? Do they have years of education in the field that makes them a scholarly expert? Did they conduct rigorous and sound research to come to their conclusions? For this step, you want to look closely at the authors and think about the source of their expertise. Do you trust them? How do you know you can trust them? If you can't find the information in the article itself, it doesn't hurt to do a quick Google search on their name. This will often show you where they work, and maybe even a little bit of information about their educational background. Finally, you need to think about the purpose of the article. Why was it written? What did the authors hope their readers would get from it? The gold standard of scholarly articles is to share the results of an experiment or study. But some articles are written to convince readers of an agenda. Others are written strictly to make money. Many are written for the sake of entertainment. Try to identify the purpose of an article you find and determine how that purpose might impact the quality of the information contained in the article. Keep these steps in mind and watch out for crap. These steps should get you started on your research for your lit review. If you are struggling with any step along the way or need help moving forward, please feel free to reach out to me.